And UNICEF says Boko Haram terrorists have destroyed 75% of the water infrastructure in northeast Nigeria.
That's correct. This is as the Nigerian government and international bodies step up rebuilding efforts. Noor Bakshs is UNICEF's emergency water, hygiene and sanitation specialist. He joins us via Skype now from Abuja. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Bakshs.
Thank you.
Now, we know that the Nigerian government joins us via Skype now from Abuja. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Bakshs.
Thank you.
Now, we know that the Nigerian government, particularly the government of the Northeast, has flagged off rebuilding efforts in the Northeast, and UNICEF has also made its own contribution. But how much of that is helping the progress of the Northeast? And particularly, how has renewed onslaught of the insurgents affected that work?
As you mentioned already, that the 75% of the water sanitation infrastructure is damaged during this insurgency. So UNICEF, with the government collaboration, the government partnership, is trying to build the infrastructure in Northeast, especially Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states. So this actually UNICEF, with the partnership of the Ministry of Water Resources, are trying to build all the resources which are accessible, and with the focus on also the IDPs who are in the camps.
All right, Noor, tell us, how has access to water been thus far? I mean, having destroyed 75% of water infrastructure, how has the access to water been for the people in the Northeast?
Actually, at the moment, all humanitarian actors, including UNICEF, is trying to provide water at all possible ways. It includes the water tracking. It also includes the temporary solutions, and at the same time trying to build the long-term solutions like the solar powered boreholes to provide the water to the affected people. I would like to mention here that the people who are displaced at the moment, they are more vulnerable, although that the number of IDPs is less in the camps and the collective centers as compared with the host communities. But they are more vulnerable because the number of water sources is very limited. So keeping in view that the humanitarian actors, including UNICEF, is trying to trying to access the affected people through different means.
Tell us now about the agri-driven economy. How has this destruction of the water infrastructure affected that aspect of life for the locals?
Sorry, I didn't get your question, please.
The agriculture-driven economy in the Northeast, you say that the 75% of water infrastructure has been destroyed in the Northeast. So how has this affected that aspect of life in the Northeast?
Definitely it is affected massively, because the people are still the displaced. As I mentioned, that approximately 500 plus thousand people are in the camps and the collective centers. So these are still that they are not in their return places. They couldn't start the cropping to their land. So it's not, again, this is the one problem. The second is that still the security issues remain, as you on daily basis. I mean, the attacks and again the counter attacks are ongoing in many places and in Borno state.
All right, Noor. Unsafe water is as dangerous to children, I mean particularly to children, as lack of food. What will be the best approach to tackling this particular challenge?
Yes, the safe water is really important, and for this, UNICEF is basically as the best way is that, and UNICEF is doing in supporting urban water network system through provision of the chemicals to treat the water to provide the safe water to 4.3 million people in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa, and urban water system. And in that, as you know, that approximately the 40% of the IDPs are residing in those urban centers. And this is the one way. The other way is that the chlorination, basically of all water points, to avoid the contamination, is that and the operation and maintenance of the water system in the camps, especially because there is no other sources available. So this is the means that the chlorination to treat the water to the people have access with the safe water.
So how soon will the people of the Northeast begin to reap the benefits of the ongoing efforts of reconstruction of water infrastructure?
The efforts are ongoing on the ground, but there are a lot of other associated issues, which is also the security and the funding and also the capacity of the partners on the ground. So these are the constraints, but it's the progress is being carried out on the ground with the collaboration of the Ministry of Water Resources and other the partners.
All right, before we let you go, Noor, what hope is there then for children who are facing a combination of malnutrition, dirty water, and poor sanitation? You know, what hope is there for them?
The hope, I think it's the situation is getting better, but as I mentioned, there's a lot of associated constraint with the efforts, and as you mentioned, the malnutrition. Again, the malnutrition basically is associated again with the safe water and sanitation as well. If all the actors, if it succeeded to ensure the safe water to all the affectees, it will reduce the risk of the malnutrition also.
All right, thank you very much, Noor Bakshs, there for your perspective on this particular issue. We wish you the best.
Thank you.